Well, good evening, everyone. It breaks your heart. It's designed to break your heart. It begins in the spring when everything else begins again, and it blossoms in the summer, filling the afternoons and evening. And then, as soon as the chill rain comes, it stops and leaves you to fall alone. I'm, of course, talking about good society, not baseball. We will know by the time I do this edit whether or not the slow drip of a Mets playoff series will continue to enter my veins, or if I will be mercifully put out of my misery. In the meantime, we're here to play Good Society after a unintentional interruption, but we're all back. We're going to drive this thing to the very end. We have to do some letters, and then we're just going to masquerade the hell out of a ball and see what happens. So let me introduce the cast because they're all wonderful and less running at the mouth than I am. So let's start with someone who has played their very first role-playing game with us with these now 4 weeks and hasn't run away screaming for the hills. So we must be doing something right because it's been 4 weeks. So please let's introduce Manny, who is playing Marmaduke Huckleberry, our socialite.
Absolutely. And I wouldn't run away at all, even for my life. But Marmaduke is finding himself in a pickle. He hasn't quite accomplished what he set out to do, which is to basically land a proposal or propose to a titled young lady that will enable him to pocket the £10,000 a year from his father. So still, a number of, I think is going to be very interesting to see how he gets along with the new cousin that's on the scene, and I'm very excited for Marmaduke's future.
Well, somebody has to be, so why not be your best advocate? So let's next go to Preston, who's playing Eleanor de Maurier, our heir, who in our last session apparently had found a fiancé that she can legally marry under the laws of the crown.
Yes, he is quite adequate, I will assure you, and she will keep assuring everyone. Will he be adequate enough to survive the end of this game? We shall see. I think there might be someone else who might be a rival turned lover, as one of our wants and desires when we started collaboration.
There is a very long tradition of perfectly adequate men in English Regency novels. So I mean, why should we be any different? Let's talk to someone who is more than adequate. So please let's welcome Liam, who's playing Lieutenant. Look at that, I'm already slipping. Lieutenant Albert Dunwoody, a Royal Navy officer and our new arrival.
Lieutenant Dunwoody did not stick his foot in his mouth very far at all last session, and due to being introduced to Thomas Cochrane, Member of Parliament, Lord Thomas Cochrane at this point, might actually find advancement in the Navy. He is now considering who he should take to wife, if that's even a thing that his tongue will allow him to do.
Well, in the grand tradition of the British military, I'm sure you'll try and try again, no matter how many failures you have on the way.
Yes.
Okay. And finally, let's talk to Talia, who's playing Persephone Dabridgecourt, our meddler, but she's kind of lovelorn in the most amazing way.
Lovelorn and just determined to destroy her life and reputation, leaving her house in the fiery flames of her unrequited passion, pining after love lost, and still trying to salvage what little reputation there is left of her house. We'll see if she manages.
Many things are possible with a happy ending on the table. So I'm Kat. I was asked to organize this, and I am very happy that we had such wonderful players. that I was able to share this with. So, I am playing Lucio Shannon, a actress of Irish extraction, who seems to be making a name for herself in the world of the gentry, though for how long, no one can tell. And she seems to have become at least very fast friends with the lieutenant, but we'll see where that goes. So, when last we left off, we had gone through reputation. Since this is our final, last session, we don't get to do rumor and scandal. I am very broken up about that. So we have to just dive right into to epistolary, and then after that, novel. And then we won't do reputation after that because there's no point. So hopefully we'll have a short epistolary at the end where we'll get to have an epilogue for our characters. So does anyone have a letter they'd like to write? Because the royal post is here.
Utter silence.
I know.
I
It's
think
hard.
I'm inviting everyone to the party. I don't know if I need to do that in this epistolary phase, but maybe I make a specific invitation to Mr. Huckleberry. And I think I'm like, I just make a special point of inviting him, his mother, and his father. And can I force someone to write a letter to me?
Mm-hmm.
You can by paying
Nora?
a resolve token.
Give me letter, please. I would like a correspondence.
Do I get a prompt from you, the player?
I don't have a good prompt. You saw me at the event last night or the other night. Maybe something came up.
We did see each other at the Drones Club, and I was thinking about writing to you. But I will still take that token. Thank you very much.
Mhm.
You have a lot. Share the wealth. Then I think my letter. This will be after I have received the invitation, and just my
It's
response.
just the normal one, but it's on like absolutely beautiful paper.
Dear Lady Persephone, I will of course be attending your mass ball. The events that you throw have always been incredible and talked about even at court. I will of course be bringing my gentleman friend. I would very much like for you to meet him and to hear your opinion. You get the sense that maybe some time passes before she picks up the quill again.
Uh-huh.
Please do not think too ill of me and my actions. I do hope that we can remain close for many years to come. Yours, Nora. I also have another letter that I think I'm going to send, and I know I'm setting myself up here that I will have no more letters and people can just attack me. But this one will be from Nora to Miss O'Shannon. Miss O'Shannon, the performance you gave the other evening was absolutely incredible. I am not one for the theater, but I could not take my eyes off of you. You are a shining star in the cast, and they would be quite amiss if they should ever lose you. I do hope to see you soon. Dion would not be there, but Lady Persephone is to throw a mass ball quite soon. I think that perhaps I will see you there, and we can discuss perhaps what is to be done about Captain Dunwoody. I have an inclination that the relationship is quite a warm one. And I think you two would make a marvelous match. Do let me know if I can assist in any way possible. Eleanor de Maurier.
I would like to spend a resolve token to make Persephone write a letter to me, specifically telling me about all of the eligible young women and mentioning my fortune
Okay.
to be at the ball.
Okay. Lieutenant Dunwoody, it is my pleasure to have invited you to my masquerade ball. And far be it from me to invite you to the field without some insight into what you face ahead of you. There will be many eligible young women in attendance. And following is like a list. All of them, their ages. She plays pianoforte. She has nice cross stitch. This woman, the humorless, like going down the list, the things that they might be good at. And I imagine that their last names are enough to recommend them. Uh, and I say, it would be my pleasure, of course, to introduce you to these ladies in person should you find me at the event. Of course, I will be busy about the business of being hostess, but feel free to come and say hello. I look forward to seeing you there. Persephone Dabbridgecourt.
Am I allowed to do a letter as
As a connection you're playing? Yes, 100%.
Yes.
I'm about to, so you can too.
All right, so this is a letter from Michael O'Shannon to Lucy O'Shannon. My dear Luce, can you spare a copper or two to your dear old Da? Things are not going well right now for me. I found some plum work for a little while at the academy as an artist model. All they wanted me to do was take off my drawers and stand there for a little while. But after I said some comment that they considered untoward, they gave me the boot. Now I don't have any gainful employment. I have been told that you are traveling to the town of blank, and I have just enough dosh in my pocket to get me down there. I'll be able to find you in town, I expect, and then you can help me out. Yours faithfully, Da.
On the stationery of the Duchess of Pembroke, Her Grace, Duchess Helena, but addressed to Nori. Dearest Nori, I have ever been, or tried to be, someone who would go before you, bearing the torch of hard-won experience into the darkness that is a woman's transition from being a maiden to a wife. I have, in the past, given you many harsh pieces of advice. I don't regret them, as I've always looked to your welfare, but by the same token, I have pondered long and well the rumors that you have formed an attachment, nay, more than attachment, to Mr. Walford. Have I ever described to you my life? I am the mistress of a great manor. We own houses in divers part of the country. In all of them I am treated as a great lady, a peeress of the realm. I order things as I think they should be ordered, but in truth, not how I think they should be ordered, but how it is thought that they must be ordered. For there is great responsibility to have a position in society. I am not complaining. It is the compensations are more than adequate. But dearest Nori, among those among those compensations is not necessarily a love of great passion, or honestly, any love at all. Do not get me wrong. George is more than a dutiful husband. He indulges me in my whims and charities and societies, and he does not spend overmuch at cards. He does not drink overmuch from our wine cellars, and he does not spend overmuch time in any house that I happen to be in. Not out of any antipathy to me, but rather simply it is the nature of things when one makes a great marriage. As for your Mr. Walford, marrying beneath you in such a way could be accepted if it were some grand passion. And if it were a grand passion, Nori, I would be your staunchest defender, and I would spend all the very considerable social capital I have spent the last 3 years amassing to defend your name and ensure both of you a place in society, and your husband that most rare and jewel-like of things, a successful career in the poetic arts. But I have met him, and I have met you with him, and I have seen the two of you together. And Nori, if you're doing this only because you think you must, because you think this is what is expected of you, because you look at me and you see that I did what I thought must be done, your spirit has never been the calculating metal that mine is. I took a long and very hard look at what my life would be and decided that it was acceptable. I am not convinced you would have done the same in my place. I only ask you to think on this. Whatever you decide, I will of course be your dearest and most ardent supporter. With my most heartfelt love, yours, Ellie. Are we so who we have left? I know I have one left. I don't think Manny's done any.
Oh, I'm about to write a letter to Lady Persephone. So Marmaduke got the invitation, and he got a brainwave that he thinks he can use to his advantage. So here it goes. Dear Lady Persephone, thank you for your letter and your generous invitation that you have extended to me and my family to attend a masquerade ball at your grand mansion. Thrilled as I am to accept the invitation, I cannot but feel a sense of hope in my bosom that I shall have the opportunity to speak with you. I would be very much obliged if I could have the pleasure of a dance that evening. I also would very much like to make better acquaintance of your serenely beautiful cousin, Lady Wilhelmina Walcott. With a budding excitement in my heart, I remain sincerely in your debt. Marmaduke. P.S. Oh, one more thing. I should very much like to know if your cousin, the serenely beautiful Lady Wilhelmina Walcott, happens to engage or attach at this time.
Ugh, delighted. Perfect. He's right where I want him, I think to myself, as I
Can I?
prepare the grounds.
Can I? I have 2 letters left, actually, don't I? Or do
No,
I not?
you have 0 letters left.
Oh,
Because you accepted the commission to write for a result. Wait, no,
no,
that's
I
right.
did not.
That's right. You wrote as you
Mhm.
wrote as Michael, so you have 1 left. Yeah, my bad.
So, if I could pull the room, should I write a letter from Lady Wilhelmina Walcott to to Marmaduke, or should I force Persephone to write a letter to Gilbert trying to get him to get into a duel with Dunwoody. Which is better?
I think Persephone's already written 2 letters, though, didn't she?
She sent the invite. She forced you
Specifically
to
one.
write. She forced you to write a letter.
Was there another letter, Talia? Or am I imagining things?
Did I write another letter? I wrote specifically to Marmaduke's family to invite them, like, extend a special
Yeah,
invitation.
No, it was just the resolve token that I'm mistaking that for the second letter. So yeah.
Yeah, you have a letter open. Yep. I mean, duels are always fun, is my opinion, but you know.
And then like a poet versus a sea captain. But anyway, I could also do my Philomena letter, depending. Talia, you got gas in the tank for that, or?
I am up for anything.
So yes, I would
Whatever.
love to
love the
give you
idea of a duel.
a resolve token to try to get Gilbert to get into a duel with my character so that Gilbert dies and frees up Nora.
Yes.
That's what I would like to hear, if I could.
Okay. So I'm like sitting in my chambers, like wearing my house dress, like thinking about how to inspire the ire of this poet.
Keep in mind, I am staying at their house.
That's right. Dear Gilbert Walford, it has come to my attention that yourself and the lovely Lady Eleanor de Maurier have certain designs. It has also come to my attention that a young sea captain seems to be staying with her at the moment, and also has designs of his own. My advice is to settle it on the field. If you are man enough to face him, I'm sure you will win her heart forever. Signed, a little birdie, Persephone du Maurier.
Is it a letter that I should write back, or I just go and challenge Dunwoody to a duel?
You haven't written your second letter, so you could definitely write a note to Lieutenant Dunwoody. I mean, that was the traditional, sir, you have dishonored someone close to me, that sort of thing.
Okay. All right. Well, here goes. Dear Lieutenant Dunwoody, it has come to my notice that you have designed, sir, on a beautiful lady that I happen to be acquainted with. Nay, I happen to be very much in love with. I take this as an affront to my honor, and I challenge thee to a duel tomorrow at 1400 hours on where are they staying? Where were they staying? On the grounds. Please do bring a friend, and so will I, and let this duel decide who challenges the Gilbert honor. I don't know if that's the last name. That it's not their last name, whatever that last name is, but yes, there it goes. Oh, who challenges the Walford honor? Signed, sincerely, awaiting to avenge my honor, Gilbert Walford.
Nothing like the good old code duello. So I think it's just me and Liam, right? Wow, I almost never was the last to go. From Lucio Shannon to Lieutenant Dunwoody. Dear Bertie, I understand that you, as well as half of Herefordshire, have been invited to Lady Dabbridgecourt's entertainment this spring. Do you know that she has actually asked me to recruit such actors that I can give notice that will not steal the silver to come? Apparently, she wishes to bring a demimondian theme to the whole affair. It does me ill to speak poorly of my betters, but there is something quite silly in the whole affair. It's one thing to stand up on the stage in front of pasteboard and plaster and slapdash paint and pretend that you are on the forum greeting Caesar or on some beach on vasty France, and quite another to be on an estate of some 150,000 and pretend to all the world that you are devils or Venice carnival goers or whatever she plans. But I am assured that you will be there, so I will have at least one person to have intelligent intercourse with. Now I feel that I must importune upon our friendship. It does not make me happy to do so. I never had any design, but I have reached a point where my poor powers are no longer sufficient to aid me. I understand that the crime of selling supplies from a naval vessel is known as barratry. I understand as well that there is a certain amount that is tolerated in the Royal Navy simply as the cost of doing business. If you should find yourself in a position to hire a purser's mate to come aboard your next command, you would do worse than to hire Mr. Michael O'Shannon, who, as you may suspect, is a near relative to me. I do not do this lightly. He is a man who has been cosseted by life and buffeted by fate. But I think within the purview of his duties, he would be sufficient, and especially if you do not touch port for some 6 months, that's 6 months that he would not be in jail, which at his age is actually bordering upon an achievement. I'm sorry to have to ask this of you. I could understand if you would consider this too much of an affront. But honestly, Bertie, I don't know where else to turn. I could give him all my earnings, even go further into debt to pay my current debts, but I fear that it would never be enough. Whereas if you were to take, say, 2 or 3 rich French prizes, that would be enough to keep Michael O'Shannon well enough to drink himself to death or marry again and become honest. One of those God will, and one the devil, and I shall allow them to fight it out, much as they did over Job, whose story I feel keenly with every passing day. Please forgive me. Yours very, very gratefully, Lucy.
Do I still have one? I still have one left. Good. Okay. So mine is from Lieutenant Dunwoody to dearest Lucy O'Shannon. Sometimes I feel that you are the only star in the sky that I can see to steer by, the only harbor safe for me. Others will have their opinion of you. I care not. These folks care not for me, and their ways are foreign. I have been informed that you shall be. Thank you for your information. That you will also be at the mask ball. That eases my anxiety no end to know that I shall have at least one person who I can talk to in that sea of sharks and shoals. I know I will wrong-foot it many times there, but I must as you have advised, again, brave the seas of this social interaction. If you would be at my arm as often as you are allowed, that would save my life. I would be ever so grateful. As regards your familial acquaintance, if I ever receive another assignment, I would be more than happy to take any and all family members you have onto my ship, regardless of their peonage status. 6 months aboard a ship in the Royal Navy, we'll see you either gone straight as an arrow or straight to the bottom of the sea. Certainly, your first meeting with the Lash focuses a man's consciousness very tightly upon what he must or must not do to not receive another lash. I look forward to our meeting at the masked ball, with incredible anticipation, and we shall together brave this storm in a skiff made of tinsel and glue. Yours, etc., Lieutenant Dunwoody. P.S. I have been God, what's the proper wording for it? I have been
Challenged?
challenged. Yes, I have been challenged to a duel with someone of Nora's acquaintance, Mr. Gilbert Walford. He doesn't seem to know any of the good code duello, so I fear the poor gentleman may just simply run himself upon my sword. I do not wish this to happen, so I will take it up with my commanding officer, and if you could figure out any way for me to get out of this, I don't need a civilian death on my hands. I would be ever so grateful if you could help me in this endeavor. That's it.
Those are some good letters. Those are some bangers, man. All right. Well, this is it, folks. Everybody's fates will be decided in this one crazy little party out in the countryside. So it's a masquerade. So we'll have plenty of chances to describe our masks. Where shall we begin? And when does the duel happen? Is the duel already happened, or?
No, I think that the duel is probably, it will be either done or brokered during the masquerade, because the problem is that I think that he doesn't realize how much back and forth is actually required here, and that there are legal things. I have to get permission from my commanding officer to even do a duel. Like, we can't just go and no.
Well, you're ashore, so you don't have to worry about that part. But yes, you do have to have your seconds meet with his seconds and decide what the weapons will be. And
yeah, we have to get a surgeon. We have to get a judge. It's just, you can't just throw things together.
The seconds will probably try and negotiate to get some idea of whether or not you're going to be fighting to the death or just.
And I was challenged, so I think I get to choose the weapons.
You definitely will have the choice of which weapon to use. I'm not sure. I think you did have a choice on what weapons would be used, but I think very often that was negotiated by the seconds. Like most duels at this point were pistols, but yeah.
Wasn't there a
Sword duels were
duel
still
that was
fought, Jewel.
once?
Let's figure out where we're gonna start with this masquerade. It's at Lady Dabbridgecourt's place, but that doesn't mean we have to start with Lady Dabbridgecourt. But are we already in swing? I feel like maybe we're already in swing. All right. Cool. So what do we want to see first? What nightmare scenario?
With Nora's arrivals, I think the first thing she should do is introduce her new beau to her old beau.
Yep. Let's see that. That can't possibly go well. That can't go well.
You find me sort of at the back of a great hall, and I'm sort of holding court with a bunch of people that I seem to be very uninterested in. Everything is like so many flowers, too many flowers everywhere. The walls are dripping with flowers. And I'm wearing a Harlequin outfit. Sort of with the silhouette of the time, but those classic diamond shaped patterns all the way down the front of my dress. Yeah, that's where you find me.
Oh, I think Nora is going to be. It's a white mask, and she has. It's really more about the hair. I think there might be hair coming off of the mask or something, but there's extra golden curls that just are close enough to her red that they go well together, and they're extremely beautiful and not completely jarring. But the mask itself is covered by vines, like little tiny embroidered vines, and her dress, she also carries probably a shawl of some sort, with fruits falling down it. And then the hem of her dress has, from the roots of trees that become trees growing up. I know we're going very off achronistic here, I'm sure, but into just like ripe, full fruit trees, bountiful around the torso. And Gilbert, if I may, is dressed all in black. What would be with a very handsome mask, but the one accessory that he carries, I don't know how this would come out in a men's costume for the time. Oh, maybe it's the vest. The vest itself shows pomegranates. Cut open.
Love it.
Missing seeds. And they are the interestingly named Persephone and Hades.
Oh.
Fitting. I see you come in, and I pretend like I'm deep in conversation with someone else, and I'm really desperately trying to get away from them, and then I just wave.
That is the Lady Persephone.
You forget yourself, my lady.
She does have a patrician bearing.
And she is not one to be kept waiting. Let us go and introduce.
Shall we?
Persephone.
My dear, good to see you. And then I just Gilbert.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you have guessed correctly, though you have not said anything. This is Mr. Guilford Walford.
Ah, a poet, I've heard.
A poet at heart, my lady, and poet by occupation, at your service.
Well, perhaps we would be so honored as to have a reading of some of your works later this evening.
Oh, what of my work, my lady? My
We
work,
could spare one of the salons for a recitation if you have some interesting work.
certainly, certainly. It's only for the erudite ear that I yearn, and your masquerade ball, I'm sure, has um, love is the poetry I would like to regale. So absolutely.
Ah, yes. Love, indeed. Well, enjoy yourselves at my little party. And should you need anything, you'll know where to find me, of course.
Of, of course, Persephone. Perhaps, lady, we could have that little talk that I requested.
Yes. And I just look at you, Gilbert, like when he leaves.
Lady Persephone and my dear, would you guys, or um, would you like me to get you some drinks?
I would. Oh, and keep your wits about you, Mr. Walford. I do think that I saw the lieutenant uh, wandering about already, and I like give you a knowing look uh, because of the letter that I sent you, and I try to
Hmm?
take your arm, Nora, and just like go off with you to chat.
Oh, what is this about a letter?
I didn't say anything about a letter. I just looked at Gilbert
Oh, okay.
like keep an eye out for the captain. Um, and I take your arm.
Well, any first impressions? You seem
Well,
to.
he seems passionate.
He is quite ardent.
He certainly says a lot of things.
And I don't tend to talk too much, so we make a good pairing. And
Well,
ways like
he'll
that.
certainly fill the silence, I'm sure.
Like this one.
There was a time when you and I enjoyed each other's company, my dear.
I'm enjoying your company now. Yes,
I'm glad. I'm glad you came.
I wanted to come.
Are you going to marry him?
Most likely, yes. Um, my
Hmm.
mother and father both approve, and I think maybe his love will be enough for the both of us.
Well, barring some horrible catastrophe where he dies somehow. But that's unlikely. Will he be home all the time? Will you still come to the country?
He wants to. He of course has to keep the family business going, but I also know that his heart is very set on writing, even if it does not sell. I think he shall continue to do so. He has an entire publishing firm at his command, so and for that, I think he will mostly be at home, but he will probably be busy, and he might expect me to fill my days elsewhere.
And then I sort of lean in a little bit to like be a little more conspiratorial with you. Um, and I go, Nora, at least, at least marry some terribly, exquisitely wealthy idiot. Why would you do this to me and break my heart? And then I straighten up and I sort of like go to turn away.
And to borrow from Rebecca, I think Nora reaches out her hand to try and catch yours and stick just the fingertips,
Just the fingertips touch. Just barely.
and you're gone.
And I'm gone.
And I think we need another scene.
Fade to black.
Well, Lieutenant Dunwoody has entered and is looking for Lucy, but the lieutenant encounters someone who wants to.
Oh my gosh, can you please? I'll spend a resolve token. I want you and Gilbert to run into each other.
Oh, but not so quickly. No. Let's
Oh, okay. Okay, slow
let's,
burn.
let's spread it out.
All
We're
right.
gonna run into each other. Although, actually, who knows? Will he even know Gilbert?
You don't even know
You know
what
what?
each
That's
other
true.
look like.
Because the lieutenant enters and he's dressed as Punch from Punch and Judy. He has a mask on, and maybe Gilbert is right there, and he's like, "Pardon me, could you direct? Do you know if Miss Lucy O'Shannon is here?"
Oh, certainly.
Yes.
I have seen her, but I don't really recall whereabouts exactly. So,
That lovely outfit you're wearing. What is it meant to be?
oh, it's something my beloved chose for me. It's meant to meant to accentuate my passion for her.
It certainly does that. I'm sorry, I'm not as imaginative as you are. I just went with what they had at the shop. Thank you very much for the information. Have a good evening.
Of course, and I do love your costume. It's very very interesting, very good indeed.
Oh, thank you. I rather liked Punch and Judy when I was a child, so I just love the way he sounded. Not my sausages! Like that. Right. I'll see you around. All right. Next scene. Has Michael O'Shannon come in yet?
Oh dear God.
Oh my gosh. Can I
Or do we
say
want
that I
Wilhelmina?
hired a lot of people to work the grounds and the
You
house
did.
like in a rush? And that he happens to be one of the groundsmen that was picked up to do things at the estate that day. So he's around.
Oh, he's absolutely around. Okay, so a young lady arrives, and she is dressed as a bee. She thinks it's absolutely wonderful, but is distressed to find that many other women are dressed as bees as well.
I'll volunteer for tribute. Lucy is dressed as a nereid, and her mask looks like a cresting wave. You're the Lady Walcott, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
There's
Very nice to
someone
meet you.
dressed literally as a bear behind her, who just kind of is just standing there. Like, don't mind my friend. She's quiet.
Yes, I see. I didn't expect to be. I thought I was going to be the only bee here. Have you seen Marmaduke?
Marmaduke. Oh yes, he's here. He's
Mr. Huckleberry. Yes.
I'm surprised his parents did not, in fact, use a literal leash upon him, but he is here. And the
Do you know
bear,
if he is-
the bear look like gets a little antsy. Lucy reaches back without looking and slaps her. It's like, wait.
Do you? What? Oh God. Yes. Very nice friend you have there. Anyway, I would love to make the acquaintance of Mr. Huckleberry, if you would be so kind?
Oh, yes, I believe I and my Ursine companion would be most delighted. Come, let's go find Dukey.
Yes, yes, that's
Where do we find Marmaduke?
Marmaduke is just wandering, a half-witted drunk that he is reduced to. So he's just been drinking that evening, silly, and he's trying to muster his courage. He wants to definitely make an impression, and is very anxious. But then he sees a bear and a very familiar face walk towards him, and then is finally thinking to himself, "Oh, it's too much to drink. Oh, the bear
Dukey?
is Celeste. Oh my!"
Shh, it's a secret.
Marmaduke doesn't know, of course.
No. Dukey,
hello.
this is Lady Walcott. I believe
Yes,
you
Oh, the Lady
must-
Wilhelmina Walcott.
yes, very nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet you indeed, my lady. Your reputation precedes you. You are so yeah, I'm enchanted. You're serenely beautiful.
Thank you.
Your cousin was absolutely bang on when she praised you to high heavens.
Oh, bang on. I dare say, is that new, some sort of new way of speaking? Bang on.
Oh, Fish, this is something I picked up at the Drones Club.
Oh, oh, it's one of those modern gentleman things you do. How delightful.
Yes, from my friend Bingo Little.
Bingo. What charming names they have. Do you see that I am dressed as a bee? Yes, the bee. It signifies wealth and prosperity, and also a sweetness.
Indeed, indeed. They are the most industrious creatures, aren't they? Of course.
Yes.
How insightful. Do you keep bees?
No, I suspect we have a man for that. I don't really know them themselves. I don't. Yes, I don't really know much of them myself.
Of course, of course. So, Lady Walcott, have you traveled this season to the continent, or have you been staying local?
I I have been ill of late. A troublesome catarrh bothers my bosom, and I have not been allowed out very much.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear. Oh, what a pity to bother that wonderful bosom. Hey, Bob,
No.
where a very romantic heart beats, no doubt.
Yes, you are very forward, and I love that.
Yeah.
Do you like my shoe?
Your shoes are
Yes.
wonderful.
Yes, I expect you would like them. They're yours.
Oh, they are.
They
May
are. I took it upon
Good.
myself to deck out my new wardrobe with your shoes.
Wonderful
Every gown with the shoe.
idea, my lady.
Would I see this happening across the
From
party?
across the room,
Yes.
and you see we are like just goofing about.
I
Yeah,
was
what is-
so happy that this is happening, but of course, I need to put my fingers into it because nothing will go well unless I'm controlling it. I I I push my way across the room to get into what you guys are doing. Maybe you're taking off your shoes at this point. Something. Um, cousin, so glad to see you as a bee. One of a whole hive, it seems. Uh, and Marmaduke. I'm also glad you could make it. I haven't seen your parents yet, but I assume they're here.
They are, Lady Persephone. Very kind.
Have you asked this young lady to dance yet?
Oh, of course, of course. And I must have the pleasure of a dance with you as well. But since your cousin seems to be your guest, might I might I request her to a dance first?
Yes, I
Well, may I have
recommend
the
you
pleasure?
to her. Uh, uh, Wilhelmina, he's a dear thing, and he'll take care of you, I'm sure. Keep your shoes on, though.
Oh, yes, yes, of course.
And then,
Uh,
yeah, I bow to Wilhelmina and take her hand and lead her off to the dance floor.
I smile and sort of slide up next to Lady O'Shannon here. Um, all
You
seems to
look
be
quite
according to plan.
you look quite the cat who ate the canary.
Not yet.
No?
Well, a few things are in motion, but nothing's come to fruition just
Mhm.
yet. And you probably see my eyes like dance across the room to where Gilbert is or whoever.
I've heard it rumored that young Mr. Walford is set upon fighting a duel with the Lieutenant Dunwoody.
Is that so? Well, a poet's passions may run hot.
Hmm. Yes, a poet, but he's also the scion of a publishing family, and they are known to have ink for blood, not this sort of flaming passion that you ascribe to him.
Well,
I
then I dare say he should prepare himself, for I fear the lieutenant. Uh,
I happen to be well acquainted with the lieutenant, and the
I
idea
stop at well acquainted and sort of give you a look.
the idea that he should be making love to Mr. Morier, I find difficult to credit.
Is that what they're saying? Such rumors.
So I was given to understand. Yes.
Hmm.
Why would Mr. Moore? I don't under. Are you saying that you have some intelligence that gives credit to this story?
No, none whatsoever. But people do talk, don't they?
Hmm. Well, perhaps we should.
People are like to talk, for example, if two meet without a chaperone and take a ride together alone. People might talk about something like that.
People might, indeed, they might. But I am given to understand that people of good breeding would never do such a thing as to bring that up when questioning became uncomfortable to them about another subject.
Oh, no, certainly.
I feel like I should roll plus cold here.
I know, right? And
This is one of us. We're looking over each other over our masks.
exactly. Might I add what a wonderful costume you're wearing?
You're too
Perhaps that
kind.
poor sailor will fall to the siren's call, as so many are wont to do.
So do you think that it shall be Helena who is Nora's maid of honor at her marriage? I had
Ah,
hoped that I would be able to convince her to patch relations with you to the degree that it would be you standing by your friend's side when she pronounces her vows.
you see in her eyes that you have pained her, but she sort of gathers herself and is like, ah, yes, well, that was a long time ago. People change. And, well, she has her poet now. To marry someone such as him, there must be great love there.
Must there be, though, really?
Mustn't there? And I sort of look at him. I mean, like with disgust, and then back at you. You do have a chance to have great happiness, and for that I envy you.
I feel rather strange that that an aristocrat of some 15,000 a year should envy the daughter of a Dublin shopkeep.
Duty does not often lend itself to joy.
Hmm. But duty in 15,000 does make it go down somewhat easier.
Oh, well, that's true. I pick up a passing champagne flute and hand one to you as well.
I'm actually quite sorry of your unfortunate falling out with Nora.
So am I. And I down the champagne.
That feels like scene. So, I guess the question is the bear going to corner Marmaduke?
Oh,
Oh, and what moment of weakness does the bear find Marmaduke in order to do the cornering?
well, I guess Marmaduke is sitting at the bar. His lady companion has left to powder her nose, and and he has had a wonderful time. So he's all open and relaxed, and is expecting to see someone like Celeste the least, and he doesn't even have any conception what's about to hit him.
And then because you are the main character and this is your story, how do you want this to go? Have you been in contact with Celeste?
Yes,
As he asked?
yes. So Celeste, I have hooked her up with essentially my friend Bingo Little runs this inn, which is essentially like 19th century like love hotel of some kind, and Celeste has been put up there. She's taken care of, so she's just, and I'll figure out how to pay back this guy. But right now, I think that she's in good hands. But obviously, I haven't paid her or the money she's been asking. So I think that maybe I could just beat it, um, rather than having to cough up the money. But to my advantage, my mama and papa are about to show up, and they are formidable characters, and they are also deep pockets, so they have the ability to kind of get me out of the thickest of suits.
I will say your papas might not be in the scene just because I was the one who was deigned to play your papa. Someone else wants to play them. But certainly, very well. The bear approaches the punch bowl and pours himself a glass and places himself on the wall directly like next to you, just looking out at the dancers and the merrymakers.
Oh, goodness gracious me, a bear!
Am I all that frightening?
Oh, you are human. Oh my god, I have had much to drink tonight. Oh no, I didn't mean to offend you though. It just if please accept my apologies. I just meant to say your costume is spot on. I wouldn't change a thing.
Well, thank you. The theater troupe that is here tonight, they provided me with the costume itself.
Did they? Wonderful,
Yes,
splendid.
I'm a good friend of Miss O'Shannon there.
Oh, I see, Lucy. Yeah, she's a good bean. And I am Marmaduke. Good to meet you. You are Miss.
Oh, we have actually met before.
We have.
Apparently, it is a very good costume that you cannot recognize me. But why don't you take a guess?
Oh, I couldn't say. I hardly hear your voice is muffled because of your costume, and no, are you
Well, then that should be a game, shouldn't it? You have
Madeline.
a few hours, maybe, to discern my identity, and if you do so, maybe there will be a prize for you.
Oh, okay. Yes, maybe that's a good riddle. But please give me a few clues.
This is not the first time I've seen you in this state.
Oh my, you must know me very well. Do you frequent the Drones Club?
I have been but once, just to the outside.
Just to the outside, oh my. You must come in. It's such a fabulous place. All the lads there.
Oh, I couldn't. The last time we spoke about the Drones Club, you said that it was for gentlemen only.
At that point, Marmaduke, drunk as he is, it hits him that he's been talking to no other than Celeste. And he just falls off his chair almost and says, but, oh my.
Does this mean that you have some inkling to my identity?
Oh, you don't say. But you can't. I thought you were.
Oh, but I can. You see, I told Lucy everything. Miss O'Shannon, that is. And she mentioned that she might be running into you at this affair and invited me along as part of the troupe. I do still know how to act even in my current condition, so...
Oh my, you mustn't even speak of it. Why are you here?
Oh.
Why? Didn't I take good care of you? I thought you were in good hands at Bingo Little's little tavern.
You have placed me in a cage, a gilded one, but I do not plan to remain there. And for that, I will need you to provide for myself, possibly the child, if I decide to keep it.
Oh my, decide to keep it. Oh, the horror.
But that is why I'm here, to make sure that such things happen. I think you should spend the rest of the evening thinking about all of the people that you know here. And if you still want to have them in your life, I don't know if they will want to be in your...
No. Please, don't go around speaking calumny about me. I promise you, I shall take care of you. Here, let me find something. Where is Alfred?
Oh, at this point, I think Lucy suddenly materializes.
Oh, okay.
Why? Do you want to be there too?
No. Both Lucy and her father materialize. However, they do not recognize each other.
Okay, I like that.
And Lucy's father says, "Oh,
give me a resolve token for that, though."
Oh, no problem.
From Michael.
Let me help you off the floor, my lord. Oh, that's a terrifying bear in front of you. I don't even know who let the bear in."
Dookie, put your walls away. Do you trust me, Dookie?
I do, and it is very terrifying, the bear.
Yes.
Oh my.
I thought it might cause your blood to run cold. I have a plan, Dookie.
Pray do tell.
No, I shan't tell it to you because you shall mess it up.
Oh, you don't have to tell me anything. Just do it. Just get rid of the bear.
And if I do, then if I settle all these things to your advantage, then we are quits, yes?
Absolutely.
And that theater that we were talking about going in together on, with your 10,000 a year, you'll be more than a capable patron, I think. A silent patron.
Absolutely. I love silence and I love patronage.
Well then, you there, footman, attend to my dear friend, Mr. Huckleberry.
I'll take him out.
Oh, my good man.
Like,
have a strong drink, and then
she takes a step away and hears the voice and like.
Here, let me go get you a stiff drink and a coffee.
Thank you.
So,
Do you happen to know a Miss O'Shannon?
Oh, Miss O'Shannon, Lucy. You don't say. Do you know her?
Oh, yes, I do. I'm looking for her. Just
Oh,
to,
I saw her. Tell you what, let's go together and get me a drink, and then on our way, I'm sure we'll spot a Mr. Shannon.
Right, but first that drink. And then
I go find
see.
Persephone and
You
drag her
find
into
me in the conservatory
perfect.
with all the flowers arranged about me.
Lady Dabbridgecourt.
Ah. The siren herself?
I think not. I think if there's someone pining away for the love of someone in this room, it is not I.
No. Whom then? And are you playing the part of Cupid?
In part, I think I could perhaps think of a certain poetess who would be more appropriate.
I go a bit pale under my mask.
I know you don't wish to see anything ill happen to dear Eleanor, but by the
No,
same
certainly not.
token, you would prefer it if your former friendship were to somehow resume.
Well, things have changed. I do miss my old friend, as people do.
And by the same token, you, under intense pressure, I believe, from your uncle the Duke to find an heir for the household.
Yes, that's all. Should be in order if things are going to plan.
And I should probably guess a certain infusion of cash into the Dabbridgecourt family coffers.
Yes. Well, hopefully one can.
What if I
Hope.
were to suggest that you adopt a certain young woman of noble upbringing, a poor woman who's been rendered stateless by the regicidal maniacs in her native country, and who has a very strong attachment to a certain heir of a well-known shoemaking family.
Now you have my full attention, Miss O'Shannon. Do go on.
My dear friend, Celeste Lefebvre, or as she was known, the Marquise of, well, the town is not important.
Oh, she's French.
She is a gifted actor and can be whatever you need her to be.
That is useful. I'll take it under consideration.
Yes, you may be interested to know that she is with Marmaduke's child.
At this, my eyes snap up to meet yours. Is that so?
It is a fact that has been assiduously concealed by myself and Mr. Huckleberry. However, of course, were it to come out, I'm afraid it would quite wreck any plans to marry him off to Wilma. But on the other hand, if he were to marry the Dabbridgecourt heir, well then, your family would be heir to 10,000 a year.
Very interesting indeed.
If I can make your...
Oh, but I've already made that fool fall in love with the poor thing. Nothing the two of us can't fix, I imagine.
Have you in fact met Have you in fact met Marmaduke Huckleberry? He falls in love with his toast in the morning.
Well, I dare say if it's good toast, I'm like to do the same myself.
I am not so foolish as to think that we are proposing a love match for Marmaduke Huckleberry. Such an effort would be wasted in any case. I am proposing to you that Celeste Lefebvre will be most happy being the mistress of 10,000 a year, and shall therefore be content to be whatever is required and keep confidences that must be kept silent.
If she will have him and isn't opposed to an arrangement of being the heir of my family, then this would be a most advantageous arrangement indeed.
Well then.
Would you be able to introduce me to this young lady?
Oh, yes, quite. She's dressed as a bear.
How fitting! And I follow you off to meet her.
What shall we do next? Lucy's just getting warmed up.
Yeah.
We need a brief Lieutenant Dunwoody trying to find Lucy and failing. See.
Oh, yes.
Who should he run into? You could run into Helena.
All right.
Good.
So the Duchess is sort of standing around looking with quite a lot of disdain and everything, and then like seeing Nora being spirited off into another corner, just kind of throwing her fan down in frustration.
Pardon me, madam.
Yes, we're at a costume party. One must not stand on any sort of convention.
Exactly. I find it very confusing. I was looking for a friend here, and I'm now realizing that what a terrible idea that was.
What is the lieutenant dressed as?
Punch.
Oh, that's right. Is your friend named Judy?
Would it were so, that would have been a brilliant idea had I had it a week ago. No, in fact, I do not know what my friend is dressed as at all. This lovely costume you have.
Oops. Well, what's the name of the girl in the Commedia dell'arte?
Columbini?
Yeah, that's it. No,
Okay.
yeah,
The servant or one of the lovers?
One of the lovers.
It's one of the Inamorata.
So, my husband was supposed to go as Pierrot, but he could not attend, so I'm rather out of place.
I did see Arlecchino over there. I believe she might be giving the ball, but I'm not sure. In any case, I'm looking for Lucy O'Shannon. If you've seen anything of her, I would.
Oh, the actress.
Yes, her.
Wait a minute. Have we not been introduced? I feel that I know you.
Perhaps we have met at one of the other parties in the country. My name is
You
Lieutenant
are
Dunwoody.
I recognize the voice. You are at Lord Cochrane's.
Yes, I was. In fact,
Oh.
yes.
Tom just had nothing but interesting things to say about you.
Well, I'm flattered to even hear that. Lord Cochrane is an amazing man, and were it not that I made his acquaintance, I think I would have rot here on dry land for the rest of my career.
You know,
you are. I don't recognize your voice. I'm sorry.
Helena Coventry.
Oh, the Duchess. Oh. Imagine, just my surprise. Forgive me. I wasn't. Yes, basketball and all that.
You know, George told me that they are commissioning several new frigates to sail into the American waters.
Really?
Yes.
That's wonderful to hear. It's a regular ship of the line, third rate, fourth rate, or
third or fourth rates, I should think, but of course, the frigate captain will have much chances to take prizes.
To be sure.
And the American
those
shipping,
waters.
Yes. Tom has said such interesting things for you. I shall speak to George. I know he plays whist with most of the Admiralty.
Well, that would be more than I could ever ask for, madam. I am at your service.
I think you should be at the service of His Majesty.
In
which capacity I shall have no doubt that you shall bring many prizes to the glory of the Navy and perhaps to the fattening of whatever wedding you plan to have.
Wedding?
Surely a post captain will need to be married.
Yes, that is in fact exactly why I'm here. I do not know one end from the other with regards to matrimonial relations. How does one even get a wife? I had been told that you just show up to one of these parties and you end up with one, but I am not skilled.
You have no attachment in a young lady?
Well, there is one, but
Well, dear boy, generally speaking, you find her father, request permission to ask for her hand, and then see what her answer is.
right. Right. Yes. Yes, that's so. That's in every book I've ever read. I am in your debt, Duchess.
Oh, yes. Yes, you will be.
And then the lieutenant flies off in a random direction.
Very good, Captain Dunwoody. All right. What shall we do next? Oh God, we should. We've been in a scene. We should definitely probably have Michael and Lucy before we have Lucy and Bertie.
And I
but-
haven't seen as well.
Yeah. I think you need to be in. Why don't we do that?
Okay.
Yeah. To break this all up.
If I may, I think Nora has gone outside to the gardens to get away from everything for a little bit. And she's staring out over everything, remembering her days when honestly she would order about Persephone's, Percy's servants and the proper care and etiquette of maintaining a garden. And I think she sees that it's a bit overgrown now. Maybe from having to let one or two of the servants go, things couldn't be kept up to the same standards. But she sees a few of the perennials that she had planted still maintaining. Just the stalks, of course. It is fall after all, or deep winter. And does Persephone also get away from the party for a moment?
Oh, absolutely. As you sort of straighten, looking out onto the gardens, I'm standing in the doorway behind you. Oh, I'm sorry. I never kept it up after, well, it was just you always loved the garden so much, and I don't spend much time out here anymore.
Where do you keep most of your days now? She draws her shawl a little bit tighter around her.
I step like a half step closer. Oh, well, mostly the running after my uncle, trying to touch him for a pound, but
Well, I heard that his lordship recently won some prize of note.
well, if he did, it won't be long lived. He'll immediately gamble it away again. That's the way it is. Well, when one needn't face any consequences for their actions. Well, are you enjoying yourself?
I am. It is a bit strange being back here again. And she walks closer to the fountain.
Yes, I follow and sort of a gesture, and I sit at the lip of the fountain like we used to.
Yes. This.
How? I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Looking at. It's so hard to talk now, isn't it? After everything we write, But it's easier because there's distance and
It is easier, isn't it? It's better this way. We did the right thing. You are happy.
who can say what is right?
Oh, well, I know a certain duchess who thinks that she does know what's right.
She does, but she also knows when to say she is wrong. Do not scoff.
Well, I haven't heard her say that she's wrong. Have you ever heard her say that she's wrong?
On
The trouble with it is
occasion.
that she's very rarely wrong, and that's what I dislike about her so very much.
On occasion. And I don't know. And she walks closer to the fountain.
Stands on one foot at the edge of the fountain.
It's beautiful. It's actually like a pond. There's not really a lip so much.
Yeah, sort of like reflecting pool style.
Mhm,
Very, yeah.
mhm.
Mm-hmm.
She looks down into the night sky reflected in the pool.
Be careful, it is getting chilly.
You always worry too much.
And then can I spend a token to have like fireworks go off and have you fall in? Illuminations. That's
Nora falls in.
How do you fall? Are you graceful or do you just like tumble in?
No, it's a tumble. It is Scarlet takes a tumble.
and Persephone is just hysterically laughing, cannot catch her breath, like heaving, like trying to stop herself from laughing, like trying to reach in after you, but just like can't catch her breath.
I will give you back that resolve token if I pull you into the fountain.
Ah, take it. Yes. I reach to get you and I'm giggling beside myself. You just pull me in and I go flipping over and like all my skirts are sort of like everywhere.
And
Just
in turn, Nora
cracking
is
up.
just absolutely tears streaming down her face, laughing at you as well.
Yeah, just dying of laughter. I don't know if anyone sees us, but at this point, I'm like having too much fun to care.
And I think the scene maybe ends on this this look Nora gives you, and there's an internal conflict there. She's seriously realizing she has to face that now, but she hasn't made up her mind.
The reflection of the fireworks in the reflecting pool shining in my eyes as we gaze at one another.
And that can be
And then we
seen.
could call that a scene, yeah.
So maybe Lucy, Michael, then Marmaduke, and well, some kind of resolution with this whole Celeste thing, and then Lucy and Bertie, and that should bring us pretty close to what we need to do to get through all this. Though we will have to figure out this whole duel thing too.
So yeah, I think it would be for whatever reason, my second comes to me and says he keeps on wanting to, because the thing is your second would keep on talking to him and saying, because Lieutenant Dunwoody does not want to fight and doesn't care about any of this and has nothing to do with it. But I guess Gilbert just doesn't want to stop fighting. So then, yeah, Lieutenant Dunwoody would be like, whatever weapons you want, it doesn't matter. I know most of them. So the if pistols were used, because swords would be a death wish, then the pistols would be presented, and like this is probably right after the fountain incident, and they're like Lieutenant Dunwoody is examining the wand and like looks at it, and then I would imagine then that Gilbert would look at one and Lieutenant Dunwoody would like turn it around in his hand. Like that's the important end. This is the not important end. Like, are you sure you still want to go through with this, Gilbert? It doesn't have to happen.
Absolutely, my dear fellow. You have offended my honor by trying to court the lady I'm in love with.
I did nothing of the sort, and I don't know what to do to make you believe that.
Lieutenant Dunwoody, I have it on authoritative account from the lady Persephone herself that you have been chasing my beloved and making yourself insufferable, and I must avenge that dishonor.
Gilbert, if I may use your Christian name, have you even examined the source of your information?
My dear fellow, I do trust aristocracy of this country is reliable, and I do trust Lady Persephone's word when she says you are being a cad, chasing after my beloved.
My honor is of no account, but you must know that Persephone and Nora have had a falling out, and that Persephone may be trying to somehow damage your relationship with her old friend Nora. I don't know why she would do such a thing. Again, anything I may do to stop this, please.
Well then, let me have a think. But I do not believe you even for a second when I look at my illustrious beloved and it's your word against the word of Lady Persephone Court.
That is fair. If you cannot be satisfied, then I suppose we must. And Lieutenant Dunwoody is not going, since we're not in Ireland, there's no law against shooting into the ground. So Lieutenant Dunwoody will just simply do that.
That means it's up to Gilbert as to whether or not he's going to take the shot. But also, Liam has a ton of resolve tokens.
So let me see. I am torn between tragedy on one hand, and comedy on the other.
Well, so we could mix the two. He could shoot himself in the foot by accident.
Yeah, that. I think that won't kill the poor sod, but at least is not gonna go through with the duel. I guess there must be some dual law where an invalid or a person who is injured cannot go through or cannot basically challenge someone else for a duel or something like that. I don't know.
As soon as he is injured, the duel is done. We send you to the surgeon, and you either keep the foot or not, depending on how the surgeon feels.
Okay. But then I'm worried for the character that I hope that his beloved is going to accept him as a person with one leg short. Okay. All right.
But you fought for her.
That's right.
Everyone knows how much you love her.
The judge is like, well, honor has been satisfied. Honestly, Bertie, where did you find this fish?
These things just happen to me. I've been told that it's actually my fault that I engender it, but I don't know how. All right, then what's the next scene? Is it Lucy and Michael?
If Bertie ever found out that hundreds of years later there was another person just telling the story that controlled all of his actions, he would just be like,
well, that makes sense.
I'm being attacked by my cats, apparently. Yeah, all right. So Lucy is running around trying to find Bertie because she's gotten wind of the duel and this is going to ruin all her plans.
Mm-hmm.
And sees Michael and is like, "You there, footman? Have you seen Lieutenant Dunwoody?"
Yeah, Dunwoody's outside. Hold on a minute. Where are you from?
Just now, the conservatory.
No. I mean, where are you born? I detect
Dublin, if
something
it's
in your
any
voice.
business. Dublin, if it's any business of yours.
It was business of mine because that's where I knocked up your mother.
Oh, for fuck's sake, it's you, da. What are you
It's
doing
me.
here?
I wrote you to tell you I needed the money.
I've been working to find you a job, an easy one, working for the Navy where you could steal everything what wasn't nailed down, and then with a pry bar you could handle the rest.
That's all well and good for you, but I found me a job down here. They're just giving them away. Anyone off the street just grabbed me and told me.
Oh,
show
they'd
some
have to have hired you.
Yeah, I had no idea what I'm doing, but now I'm employed.
Well, perhaps the footman's career will be the latest chapter in Michael Shannon's checkered life.
But it's good to know that you're doing well and you're looking out for me. That's all I need.
Of course I'm looking out for you, da. Hear me, da? You're an anchor around me neck, but you're still my father.
I know. Your dear sainted mother told me that I should watch after
Don't
you.
you talk about my mother.
I can't talk about your mother. And now I'm not even capable of doing that.
Oh, I miss her too, da. I miss her too every day.
Go on.
Do you really think she's up in heaven with all the saints?
As sure as there is a heaven. If there isn't a heaven, then they've all been lying to us, haven't they?
Well, then I hope she's been stealing and blind with the cup game, because Ma always was good at running that against the mark.
Oh, she's good. She could blindside the deal himself.
I mean, one would figure that a saint would be so trusting that they would not be very good at it.
She can please all of heaven.
I need to find Lieutenant Dunwoody. Listen, da.
Hey, he's right over here. Yeah.
Listen, da. If I were to get married to a Royal Navy officer, you wouldn't hold that against me, would you?
Like married? Like proper married?
Yes, to a Sassenach bastard.
Makes no never mind to me. I never really married your mom.
Yeah, married a common law. The church never needed to come into it.
Yeah, but she always was down on me for that.
Well, you can make it up to me when you see me. If you see me in a dress, if I can ever convince him that boy's supposed to be a fearsome naval officer, but it's got on land. He's got the initiative of a colicky snail.
What do you expect from some of these Englishmen?
Not much.
But if he's got a fat wallet, and if he's kind to you,
Oh, yeah,
that's all I want.
he's kind
That's all
to
I
me.
need.
I think Ma would have liked him. Should have taken his watch too, but she would have liked him.
Oh, she knew where everything was stored.
I mean, isn't that how you met?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she stole the watch before you could take the gentleman's.
Well, she was the one with the wire cutters. I really only had a knife. She was always smarter.
Learned everything I knew from her.
Come on, we got to get to your fella before he kills that poor bastard.
Oh dear God, the duel's going on? Oh,
Yeah,
bloody
that's
hell.
why everyone's gone outside. It wasn't just to see the two ladies in their wet gowns.
Wait, which two ladies?
They were the two. I'll tell you as we're going.
Hey. Okay, maybe we see Marmaduke and Celeste, and maybe Persephone to wrap all this up in a bow.
Yeah, I definitely want to meet with Celeste. I think after I come sloshing in through through the ballroom.
I think, yeah, you obviously you and Nora have to get out of the dresses and into something else. Nora would be in a different room.
Of course.
But as you come out of yours, perhaps you find the bear. I know it's a kind of a horrifying thought, but the bear is currently searching for someone, clearly.
I'm not a harlequin anymore. I'm now dressed as a artistic interpretation of a raspberry, with a little fascinator and sort of a veil instead of a mask. And I'm looking for the bear. Would you have told me that she was in a bear costume? Would I recognize you?
Well, I
Or
think,
am I just
yeah.
kind of sneaking
Yeah, I
around?
told you. I told you.
Oh, that's right. Yes. Oh, that's right. I was like, oh, how appropriate. Okay. And so as I see you, I stop. Celeste, is that you, the Lady Celeste?
Oh, I'm so sorry. Are you? I think she might recognize you. Oh goodness, you are the Lady Persephone. I am.
Yes.
Do apologize. I'm not sneaking about. I'm trying to find someone who is sneaking about.
No, I'm sneaking about looking for you. We have much to discuss. I have it on a good authority that you're
That I am.
I hesitate to say it. That you are. And it's Marmaduke Huckleberries.
Then I cannot deny it.
Ah! Brilliant. You are the answer to all of my prayers. I have a plan.
Come again?
It's my plan, mine that I made up completely by myself from my ingenious brain. I am in need of an heir to my family. And my family is in need of, well, a cash infusion, so to speak. The Huckleberry boy, as I'm sure you know, stands to get 10,000 a year from his father should he marry well. Now, you, as you stand right now, perhaps are not the best suitor for him, but were you a Dabbridge court, would you not be a suitable wife indeed?
My lady, we have only just met, but
Oh, I'm sure we'll learn to love each other, dear. You'll find me very agreeable.
I cannot think but to say that some angel in heaven has come down and whispered in your ear.
Unless, of course, you don't want to marry the boy, and for that I couldn't blame you.
Society must dictate that I do, and before things go much further, and this would make everything the better.
Well, then come to my office at once. We have adoption paperwork to sign. And I'm sure you can make him fall in love with you again, right? And I start leading you down the hall to my office where I have paperwork ready to go.
A raspberry leading a bear down the hall
Yeah.
for adoption paperwork.
Uh-huh.
We are well and truly into farce.
How did this happen?
That much of a farce.
Not terrible, but we're definitely on that side.
It's a little. We're winding everything up with a very romantic comedy bow here. Do we need a Marmaduke scene for how you're going to get ambushed, or is this just like a pantomime of Nora pointing at you, pointing at her?
Wait, Nora would be doing it, or Persephone?
Not Nora, Persephone.
See, we're all doing it now.
They're the same person. Everybody knows.
It's true.
I think
Like
that
for
there
one
probably
end.
needs to be a scene. I don't know if there is a parent that needs to be told that, hey, this is or maybe, or maybe someone can just tell Marmaduke, hey, this is the thing that you should do to. You get to keep £10,000 and get to marry this beautiful young girl who's carrying your child.
We
And
have not seen Marmaduke's parents other than a letter. That could totally be the scene post them talking with Lady Persephone, and they come to you in whatever state they find you. Would you like to do that, Talia?
Yeah. Dookie, my baby boy, look
Oh.
at you. Soon to be a man, married. Or wait, do I know that yet? I don't know that yet.
We do. I think that's
We do?
sort of the premise
Okay.
of the scene.
Oh,
No, Mama.
a mother couldn't be so happy. And to a good family with a good name. Oh, I knew you could do it, Dookie.
does Dookie know about this, or
I don't think so.
No.
like shooting
I'm
it off?
so proud.
But mother, what are you talking about? I am not even engaged. What of getting married?
Oh, but you are, my son. You are.
Papa, to who?
To a lady, Celeste Dabbercourt.
Oh my, Dabbridge Court.
A
Celeste
Dabbridge
Court.
court. Can you imagine? And I grab my husband's hand.
He's
We'll
very
be having
stoically.
dinner with the queen soon.
Oh my, that indeed sounds like it should read like good piece of news in the London Times, but I don't know anyone by that name. I've heard of a young lady whose name is Celeste, and I do know of the Lady Persephone Dabbridge Court. How did they? I did not know there was a Lady Celeste Dabbridge Court.
Oh, don't play the fool, my dear. I'm sure you arranged all of this to your satisfaction, that it should be so perfect in this way.
And at this point in time, I realize that there's no point telling, just like most rich parents, you just have to accept it. You just have to see if there is a silver lining. And it occurs to me that maybe I should just take this opportunity and ask, so Papa, do I get to keep, does that mean once I get married to this Lady Celeste, you will pay me a handsome sum of £10,000 a year and I get to own the Pembrokeshire house?
If you will excuse us, my dear. And he leads you away from your mother and into a private chamber. We have just been to see the Lady Persephone.
Mm-hmm.
It would seem, because of her own needs, that she has agreed to do this, and unfortunately that means we will be forever in her debt. This Celeste Dabbercourt, who we shall do our best to make into a fine young lady of the gentry and beyond. She is the Celeste that you have had excursions with.
Oh my, how do you know?
The good Lady Persephone told us everything. She is no fool, that one. And she knew that
I was trapped. It was a honey trap.
You will listen. She knew that it would ruin our family and our extended family as well. And I think it is her friendship with the Lady Nora that led her into these actions, that she wanted to keep her safe.
Mm-hmm. Well, then I am perpetually indebted to Lady Dabbercourt, and I accept her proposal on behalf of her ward. What else can I say? But I do need, Papa, the £10,000 to run my household. Surely.
You will get that when the next time you come into London. We can discuss that matter and discuss handing the reins of the business over to you.
Oh, goody.
Very well, let us go and join the rest of this evening. He is not in costume. He is clearly just in business attire. No nonsense.
Papa, no costume for you. Shall I get you a mask?
I do not care for people who hide behind masks.
How true, how astute. And the scene ends.
They can.
Yeah, I think so. I think we find Nora hanging out on the edge of a circle around a couple of Lucy's actor friends, and they're reenacting the duel, but playing it as like this absolutely broad comedy, and everyone is laughing at what's his name, Gilbert. Well, the actor playing Gilbert, and Lucy just looks at Nora and is like, "I'm sorry, they must have heard."
And question is, has Nora actually heard yet? She does not. No, I heard what?
Oh, well, they're encoring it, so they do the whole thing. Like, I'm afraid your I'm afraid your Gilbert fought Bertie and shot himself in the foot.
Oh, stupid. Oh, because he thought.
Yes, he fell for one of Persephone's ruses. Oh, actually, no, she would never say that. I'm gonna strike that. She takes that one to her grave.
How could he think that Captain Dinwiddie and I are like family now?
Nora, think of it as a little mercy. Perhaps some guardian angel was looking out for both you and Gilbert, and that Bertie was not forced to accidentally kill Gilbert because he kept shooting at him, and now you are spared from the need to marry him. But as compensation, may I introduce you to my dear friend, Sir Daniel Topenham. He is very close friends with Will, one of our actors. He himself is looking for a woman to appear to be his wife.
I see.
Do you know that he has the estate that's just about a mile from here?
One could walk that distance in no time at all.
Well, on the other hand, being a lady of such delicate constitution, I'm sure you would have to stay the night very often.
And I do not feel that he would mind such things.
No, I imagine he'll be in the city on business quite often.
And she sees, I think at some point, at this point, Persephone is coming out in her raspberry getup.
Just one thing, dear Nora. Always remember that which has been done may be undone, and never cross me. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
You see a very smug-looking raspberry come in from the other side of the room.
Just as Nora's finally catches on to what Lucy said, she turns and Lucy is off somewhere else. And she just stood there for a moment, utterly confused, holding her drink. I think you probably gave her something, maybe, I don't know why I pictured this, all in yellow, and she is going as like the sun. Yeah. You know, Persephone, I feel this has been one of the strangest evenings I've experienced in a long time. I thought that it was supposed to be Midsummer's Eve that invited such fanciful things into the world.
I always find that the autumn is more of a time of transition, my dear.
Have you heard about this duel that just occurred on your lawn while the fireworks were going off? And I feel that
What? What?
and I feel the two of them just glide off, and she relays everything that has happened in the past 30 minutes that they have.
Totally shocked, completely surprised. Duel here, where? Impossible.
Impossible.
Potential marriage to a gentleman who has an estate very close by. All of that good
Ah.
fodder.
And I fill you in on all the details, and maybe I walk you back out towards the balcony, and I go, well, with an extra 10,000 a year, I think the gardens need a renovation, don't you? And then I think, like, we
think-
gaze at each other.
I think Lucy maybe finds Bertie by the fountain, possibly still holding his pistol.
Yeah. Cleaning it.
Dear
more
God,
like-
Bertie. Please,
Yes, I know. It's a
Lieutenant,
piece
don't
of-
shoot. Don't shoot.
This is a terrible instrument. Why did they bring such a terrifying thing here? Ugh, I just toss it in the fountain.
Well, Bertie, I've had quite the night. I imagine you have too.
Oh, Lucy! Oh, I've been looking for you the entire evening.
You would have found that I was perhaps preoccupied.
Ugh.
I think the one thing that we can both agree upon is, were it not for the intervention of some kind people, these gentry would completely destroy themselves within a week.
Yes. It's a wonder that they've gotten as far as they have.
How was your evening?
Unusual, to say the least. I did not expect to be, well, attempted. I shouldn't even say attempted at murder, because that fellow wouldn't have been able to shoot me even if his arm had been held by someone.
Well, I'm quite glad that you weren't that nothing happened to you, Bertie. I would have been quite beside myself. The world would be a much poorer place without you in it.
That sentiment touches me to the heart. There has been something I have been meaning to bring to your attention, Miss O'Shannon.
Hmm.
I have been informed by the people who are at the Admiralty, as well as the peerage and the regular folk about town, that I am in want of someone to plan my affairs, to administer my estate, manage my career, and to have charge of my money.
So some sort of groundskeeper, I take it.
I no. Damn it! I did it again.
Bertie.
Yes.
You must be better aware of when I am completely taking the piss of you. I'm afraid I do it with a very straight face.
Yes. Yes, you do. What a pair we are.
Punch and Judy, as it were. Bertie,
Yes, Lucy.
you were going to ask something?
Yes. Would you... Bertie gets down. Would you do me the honor of accepting my proposal for your hand in marriage?
I don't know. Did you file it in triplicate with the Admiralty?
Damn it! I was
Bertie.
told that I needed to find your father. Where's your father? I have to ask your
He's
father's
actually
permission.
here. He's actually right over there.
Right? This is I've been
Bertie.
told that that's what is done. I ask your father, correct?
Yeah. No, in this case, you tip my father, and that should be sufficient.
Right.
Bertie. Yes.
Your servant, my lady.
Yes. Now, I take it you're getting a third rate, yes?
That's what I have been told.
Well then, we shall have to hire a new man of business, someone that's well versed in maritime law. Let's see whom we can find at the party.
Let's.
Okay. Hey, we have enough time. If folks want to do epilogues, we can. So the way epilogues work is you get to write one letter that wraps up your story. I don't remember if there's any rules about time frames. So, knock yourself out. Whatever you want to do. So if anybody has an idea of what they want to do for their epilogue, go right ahead.
I got it right now.
Excellent.
My dearest Lucy, having departed Southampton with insufficient crew, we made our way across the Atlantic to the coast of North America. We have encountered a number of different ships, hailed them, and gone aboard searching for old English, British, and other United Kingdom crew members that we may take on to replace our depleted numbers. The Americans themselves have become quite obstreperous with this, simply taking back what is rightfully ours, and have come to blows at on a few occasions. I expect, however, this will not deplete our ability to harass the French shipping. I expect to be home by Christmas. Yours as always, Bertie.
So you started the War of 1812.
It's canon. That's how that happened. I'd like to write a letter to Miss O'Shannon. My dearest Miss O'Shannon. Well, I suppose you shan't have that name much longer, shall you? I sent 2 of my finest gaited horses to your estate as a bit of a gift. I must say, your help was instrumental in making my life what it is now, which is very happy. Yours always, Persephone Dabbridgecourt. She signs it and looks out as Nora is walking over to visit on a fine morning.
I guess Marmaduke writes a letter to his parents on one fine October morning saying, "Dear Mama and Papa, I am most delighted to write to you and inform you that your granddaughter Lucille was born this morning. And you're welcome to come and visit Lady Dabbridgecourt and Lucille and Celeste and me. We'll be most delighted to have you and host you. Your loving son, Marmaduke. P.S. Where is the $10,000? £10,000.
This is from Nora. To my beloved husband, Will. The garden is looking lovely this year. I hope you'll be proud of me when you come for a visit. I expect it to be another large affair, so I have gone ahead and ordered on extra servants for the season. No, I think she will say, Percy sends his love. And we expect you to come back to a house filled with love, light, and laughter. I believe I heard that Miss O'Shannon has left the troupe and gone on to own a theater herself. Do write back and tell me if that is true. I would very much like to go see anything that she puts out. We owe her so much. Also, I hear that Bertie will be coming back home for Christmas, so this year, unfortunately, you cannot remain in London. You will have to come here. But of course, Alfred is always welcome to come with you. I do love him as well. That was Alfred.
Dear Da. Well now, who would have thought that you'd have a son-in-law and a son, both captains in the Royal Navy. I fear that old Ma would be spinning her grave, but on the other hand, she'd see the fine amount of money that they both brought in, and I think that would set her well. Your son is doing quite well, and as you've heard, became captain of his own ship. And as for Bertie, well, that man has got to be the most lucky prize taker ever. If there is a sweepstakes in Ireland, we should keep him away from it, or he'll win the entire island. As for Nova Scotia, I found it to be most an inspiring place, and I'm glad that I'll be soon home. Thank you for taking care of the wee one for me. And I've been informed that the theater manager found that your conduct was not larcenous enough to prevent you from being in the returning to the company for the next season. I do miss you, Da, and I'll look forward to seeing you again soon. Yours, ever so happily, Mrs. Albert Dunwoody. Well, folks, that was pretty cool. I got nothing to say. That was just amazing. Thank you, guys. I hope you enjoyed it.
Likewise, it was beautiful. I did not know what to expect when I started playing with you guys, but you guys are exceptionally kind, humorous, so much fun to spend Sunday evenings with. So I'm gonna miss it.
Oh, likewise, man. It was a pleasure to help bring you into this larger world, or at least nerdier world. So.
I'm just so delighted we all got our happy endings.
It's a romantic comedy. I can do those too. They're not all, Russians staring out over the steps and pondering how they're miserable. I say that for January.
Just lots of looking at snow. Sadly looking at snow.
But in very deep, rich furs.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
I am very happy that we got this chapter, and I look forward to playing with some or all of you again in the nearest futures.
Yes.
Until then, thank you guys all so very, very much. This was absolutely lovely.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for facilitating.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
I do feel I should note, whether this is being recorded or not, the makeup I'm doing is for Halloween. I'm trying to follow this sort of makeup guide to make myself look like a werewolf, just so when things really start to get crazy.
I mean, We support all beats here.
But I just didn't want someone out anywhere wondering, like, wait, this is a Regency era game. Why are they drawing?
A duel with sausages?
I wouldn't
With
be.
like poisoned sausages? Is that not? I feel like that maybe
I mean, it should
maybe
be.
that was just a myth I was told.
I mean, duels are a lot of fun. I mean, I feel like we're in Russian society now. I mean, there's so many duels. There's so many duels in Russian literature. I mean, and then there's Pushkin. Most famous work features a duel where where the friend of the poet was accidentally killed, and in real life, Pushkin died in a duel. But then again, he had a big thing for trying to be Lermontov, who also died in a duel. So
Dear, that is Lady Nora.
I see. That is the Lady Nora.
Persephone. You're the Lady Nora.
I did it again. Also, I am currently Persephone. So
That is
you're Persephone
Nora.
and also Nora. There were fireworks. People had fireworks, right?
Yeah, we had communication with China.
Yeah. It's like bang, bang, and then you fall
Handel
in.
wrote a whole series of music about fireworks in the 17th century.
Right,
so, yeah.
right, yeah.
Maybe not Jane Austen. It might be more early, Matthew McConaughey, but still fine.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, Heath Ledger. Does that make you feel better?
Nora, of course, sends her love. Again. Strike that.
We're just so close. It's like we're the same person at this point. Like we think of each other as like,